And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Coup is a very simple game. I mean, very simple. And at its heart, Coup is simply a bluff game. Can I out-bluff you? Now, there's a lot of games, I think that when they come down to it, they're very simple bluffing games. I remember playing one a long time ago where simply each turn you roll a die and then you decided to lie or not lie about the result of your die. Well, this one's very similar. You're going to take an action on your turn and then you're going to decide whether to tell people whether you take the action, then you tell everybody whether the action you just took was legal or not. How does that work? Let's check it out. These coins, by the way, are a different color than are probably in the final copy. I have an early production copy of the game. But at the beginning of the game, everyone's going to get 2 coins. Then from a small deck of cards, each player will take 2 characters, maybe the Contessa and the Ambassador, or I get a Captain and a Captain. You can have 2 of the same, it doesn't really matter, or an Assassin and the Captain. And so I'll take these 2 characters and place them like that. I get to look at them, but I place them face down in front of me. Then one person starts and we go around clockwise. Now, on your turn, you may take 1 action. However, most of the actions in the game require that you have a specific character. So when you take that action, you say, I have such and such a character, but you might not have the character. So let's go over a few of these actions. One of the actions you can do in your turn is take a coin. Anybody can do that at any time. You can also take 2 coins. Anybody can do that at any time. However, another player can say, no, I have the Duke, and you can't take those 2 coins. They can stop you. Now, hopefully you do have the Duke, but you necessarily don't have to have the Duke to stop someone else from taking 2 coins. If you have the Duke, you can also say, I'm taking 3 coins. And so, the Duke can be useful because you can stop other people from taking 2, and you can take 3. But you can say you're taking 3 coins even if you don't have the Duke. Like, for example, here I have the Ambassador and a Contessa, and I can say that I have the Duke. Now, if someone decides to call me on that, let's say someone says, I don't think you really have the Duke, and I do have the Duke, then what I do is I show that I have the Duke, ha ha ha, and then I will discard the Duke and draw a new card to replace it. The person who called me out on it has to take one of their 2 cards and turn it face up, and now they're down to 1 card. When you have no cards, when you're down to 0 cards, you're out of the game. If they called me on the Duke and I did not have the Duke, then I have to turn one of my cards face up. They caught me. So you can see that saying that you have something that you don't can be extremely risky. If you have an assassin, or whether you don't have the assassin, you can pay 3 coins and say you're going to assassinate somebody else. Now, the Contessa blocks the assassin, and again, it all works on, I can say, I have the assassin, and I'm going to kill one of your characters, and I don't have the assassin, I'm just saying that. And they say, I have the Contessa, and I'm going to block your assassin. And they don't have the Contessa, but, they're just saying that. So you can see that there's a lot of bluffing and double bluffing. A couple of the other characters, you can use the Ambassador action to change a card with the deck. You can use the Captain action to take a card from another player. And the reason you're collecting all these coins is because if you get 7 coins, you can pay all 7 coins and start a coup, and you pick someone else and that person loses one of their cards. There's nothing to really block a coup, so you have to stop people from getting too much money. As soon as you are down to everybody is out of the game except one person, then that person wins the game. As you can see, it's not a long game. Coup is one of those games that's just so good because it's so simple, and it just comes down to that straight, in your face, am I lying or not lying? Now, what you'll find in this game is that you might start by playing by lying often, but the best way to play Coup, really, is to tell the truth 95% of the time. And it's that one critical moment. Usually it's when you're about to lose, someone's going to assassinate your last person. Well, then you might as well lie and say you have the Contessa. And then they'll assume that you're lying and saying that, but you could be right. So there's always that. And you have to be careful, because if someone wants to assassinate one of your people, and you say, I have the Contessa, and then you turn over and you don't, and someone calls you on that, well, then the person that you had someone assassinated, and you lose someone from lying, so you're out of the game. So you have to be really careful. And so I'm telling you, games like this are very short, and they're very tense. and it's very enjoyable. It's a lot of game packed in a very short amount of time. These are the kind of games I'm very interested in. It reminds me very similar of Love Letter from AEG, although this one has a much different feel to it. This one is just straight lying to your opponents, or telling the truth and making them think you're lying. There's just different ways to work it. But I mean, the game isn't going to be complex. No one's going to write 20-page strategy books about this, well, I think. But at the same time, it is a great little filler, and certainly one you should check out, Coup.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door!
That's right. Shut it.
There.